What's going on, guys? We're back with another Tower of Fantasy video. Today we're going to showcase some PvP, and we're going to showcase how you guys can defeat Nemesis without using a Nemesis. Now, for my PvP team, I'm using quite a bit of good units. We're using Meryl as our sword unit right here. We're using Zero and Samir. Now, in my opinion, every match you start off with, you want to have Meryl at the start because she gives you that little shield. And then you want to swap straight into Samir because almost everyone does this little shooting game at the start right here. And if you start off with that shield and you play that little shooting game and you just keep putting that shield back on and they don't, you're just going to win that over time. So they're going to have to come in on you, otherwise you're just going to win automatically. Also, since they have Nemesis, they think they have got the edge up on you, and they're going to come in on you and try to set up those towers on you and burst you down like this guy's doing right here. Now, why is it that I am winning this burst, even though this tower is hitting me constantly? I'm just completely ignoring this tower. It's because of my shields. Zero is a very good counter to Nemesis, because if they're going aggro like this, you can go aggro right back on them and blast them with your skill. Your skill like that, as you see, will give you a heal, and then your skill will also do good damage to them. So right there, I just healed a whole bunch, got a fat shield, and I also got a damage up. All of that from one character is very insane. So what I'm doing right here is we're just running away, getting our cooldowns back, letting him come close to us, and then, again, we know this is a very aggro player, so we're just going to go ahead and blow our damage skills on him, and he's not going to try dodging anything, so that makes it perfectly easy for us. Now, as you see, we got all of our skills right now, so we swap into Zero again to get that little double heal off. And here we're getting stunned and attacked and all that stuff, so we'll go ahead and activate our missiles. So that way it will either make him run away from us, getting us out of that stun, or he'll stay there and take a whole bunch of damage. And again, he chose to stay there and take a whole bunch of damage. Now, right here, he's trying to hide away from me, try to get me to go towards his towers. He thinks if he hides under there, I'm going to come near him. I'm just going to stay back here and keep shooting him. There's literally no reason for me to go near him. And also, if you didn't know, you kind of want to aim for the head. You get little headshots for extra damage. So as you see, he's trying to hide over by his towers to get me to go in there, and that way he can do huge damage to me between those two towers. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stay back here and shoot him with my gun. I'm ahead. There's no reason for me to go in on him. And that's pretty much it for that one. Nice, easy W there. Now, what I didn't really get a chance to go over on that fight, this is another fight right here, another Nemesis player. This time I'm going to go over a little bit more of the relics use when I actually use them, so I can explain the relic use here. Now, Meryl is going to be your highest damage with this team comp right here. Her skill 1 does huge damage, and her little hold button when she does a little spin to win, that does massive damage as well. And what you're going to be using Samir for is for the charge, because Samir's ultimate attack, or whatever it's called, doesn't do a ton of damage, so you always want to try to use either Zeros or Meryl's for that one. Now, as you see, I'm swapping into Samir. Samir has a really nice way of building up charge with her little dash. She can stun them and then just fly above their head and do big damage while building up charge. And again, every time you have an opportunity to, try to use that Meryl ult right away. If they're really good, they might dodge your Meryl ult, so you might want to time it for when they're stunned. But it's really hard to predict when they're going to use that ult, so try to throw it out right away, that way you can start building up another one. Now, what I didn't get a chance to talk about too much is my relics. So let's go ahead and go over my relics real quick. We've got the missile relic, and we've got the cube relic. Now, what exactly do they do? The missile relic just does a ton of damage. If they don't dodge your missile relic, then you're going to win the fight just because those missiles do a good amount of damage. And the cube relic, a lot of you might not know what the cube relic does, but what it does is does like a little force push in a big AoE around you. And if it hits, as you see right there, it hit for 5,000 damage, and it gave me a nice charge. So it's a good way to get those little ults back on your weapons. That way you do more and more damage, and then you can win by having more ults than them. Now, as you see right there, I blasted them with another force push with the little cube to get my ults back up. And I think I accidentally used my ult. Okay, no, I saved my ult there. I didn't mess up there. Good. So Unfortunately, he played well, and he avoided my ult there and ran away, so no problem. As you see, I have a fat shield right now. That's from the Meryl. And now I saw that he was just running away, so I was like, I'm not going to keep chasing him and wasting all my dashes and all my energy. I'm just going to start shooting him, and he has to come back on me. So for PvP, I always recommend having at least one ranged weapon, so that way they can't just run from you and kite you forever. And once you're back to full energy, you want to go ahead and blast them with that spin to win into that S1 right there. And right here is not a Nemesis fight, but I thought this was a really good fight, and it's a good showcase of exactly how fun PvP can be. This is a match with no Nemesis players, so the match actually lasted a bit longer, and in my opinion, we both played this match very well. It was another content creator who was streaming at the time. I checked them out afterwards, but this is a really good fight. We'll go ahead and go over it. Again, we start off shooting at the start. Always want to start shooting at the start. Remember, I got this shield at the beginning. It seems like he doesn't have a ranged weapon or something, but you see he pulled out his missiles right now. So I'm going to go ahead and run away from those missiles. I do not want to take the big damage from those missiles. So I'm avoiding the missiles, and the other guy's not avoiding the missiles. So as you see, he's taking a lot more damage. And right there, I went ahead and hit him with the force push, gained some charge, and now I'm spinning to win right here, doing massive damage on him. As you see, I have almost full HP, and he's got nothing because he's just been running into all my stuff while I've been avoiding his stuff. And right there, we swap into Samir, knock him up for a stun, build up our charge instantly, and then smack him down with that Meryl ult. Now we'll go ahead and spin a win. And now we have absolutely no cooldowns. We have no energy. So right now, I'm just trying to run away a little bit, regain my energy. Because without any energy, look at, you go in and you don't do too much. A nice little combo that I like to do with the cube. It's not necessarily a guaranteed combo, but you could run in, do a little dash with Samir, knock him up for that stun, and then force push with the cube and get a nice little charge in. Now, as you see right now, I've got a fat shield right now again, so I'm not afraid of anything while I've got that shield up. That shield is free HP, so that's when I like to go aggressive. Now, right now, I'm ahead on HP. We're blasting each other with missiles. I'm spinning to win, and now he finally realizes how much damage he's taking from those missiles, and he's forced to run away. And that was only the first death. I thought I was already the second death. Again, he's shooting his missiles right here, so we're going to go ahead and try to avoid all of them. We got hit by one of them, not too bad. Now, right there, we use our S1 with our 0 to heal up a little bit, get a shield, and then we immediately swap into Meryl to get a second shield. Right there, we did a force push with the cube to get our energy up so we could do a little ult, but we got stunned right when we used it, unfortunately, so it negated that ult, and that was a pretty huge thing right there. That could have made me instantly lose right there. As you see, I could have done a lot more damage, but that's why you gotta be careful with your little stuns. Now again, we just respawned, and he's gonna try running away for a little bit, so I'm gonna start shooting him, and now he turns on me and starts shooting me with his little laser wand. And now I'm just going to spin to win with my big shield. He blasts me with his little ult right there, and it does no damage because I've got a thick shield on me right now. We both stand there S1ing each other, doing nothing. And then I blast them with my 0 to get a big shield, a big heal, and do a ton of damage. As you see, I got my missiles up, I got my 0 buffs up, and I'm just doing as much damage as I can right now. He's trying to run away a little bit, so I start shooting him. Now he's spinning at me, so I try running away, and I get froze, unfortunately. But now I see I got full energy, so I'm going to go ahead and turn back on him. I know he has no energy now, so he can't really run from me. And we're going to go ahead and swap to 0 for 1 second. That way I can use the ult with the sword to finish it off. And that is